Well, good morning. Today is Tuesday, April 7th, 2020. This is Loving the Coronavirus class. I'm Stephen Wynn, and I am very honored to be with you this morning. So let's just get started. And what I'll ask this morning is just an invitation, because I always do this normally very privately and quietly, but that each one of us invite into this session some great source of inspiration, whatever that means to you. It could be a divine being, it could be your grandmother or your uncle, it could be a source of a book, a teaching. The idea is that we will go deeper and have far more support from the unseen part of life, or even the seen part of life, as we go deeply within our hearts, deeply within our beingness, to uncover these wounds that have been caused by the coronavirus. These, or caused or revealed by, probably more accurate. The wounds we get are really the wounds that are already there and are being revealed. So that's the idea, is that it's not just us and our intention, which is very powerful, but that there is a vast array of universal, I'll just say divine energies, qualities, if you will, divine principles, if you prefer, rather than beings, divine principles that are here to assist on our own spiritual journey. So just take a moment. Who would you like here? What principle would you like here? Perhaps compassion, perhaps courage, perhaps Ram, perhaps Jesus, Mother Mary, Buddha, whoever it is. And to get started, as I mentioned yesterday, it's sometimes hard to find our issues once we're deeply in our hearts. I'll just say that from my side, I saw a survey last night, a poll, a Rasmussen poll, about people concerned about the COVID virus. And at the top was economic. Surprisingly, only 4% of people were most concerned about their own health in that poll. But, it's economic, it's chaos, it's lifestyle, it's all these other things, and then 4% people worried about their health. It doesn't matter what everyone else thinks, it's what we think, what issues are rich for us. But I'll sort of be slanting this conversation this morning, this investigation this morning into that side, but whatever comes up for you is what I want you to work with. So just take a moment and consider the economic devastation of this pandemic. We all know 10 million people lost their jobs over the last 2 weeks. More will follow, without a doubt. Huge industries. Certainly the cruise line industry is shot. The airline industry is barely hanging in there and really are just losing money left and right. I had a brother who teaches Taoism. He was over in Europe teaching some Taoist classes. Right when the pandemic hit over there, the big panic. So as soon as his class was over, he got on a plane, within a day or two, and flew back to the United States. A jet that had 350 seats, there were maybe 30, 35 people sitting in it. We landed in Atlanta. The CDC came in and tested everyone's temperature. He was fine, so he got on his next plane going to Asheville. 5 people on the plane, hold 65 people. And that's how the flights are going right now. Nobody's traveling. I'm sure they're shutting down flights left and right. But will they ever recover? Will the hotel industry recover? The convention business recover? Will all these restaurants that have closed, a lot of them just closed. They're not making enough money on the takeout business because people aren't going out of their homes. Are they ever going to reopen? And all these wonderful people that are friends, waiters, cooks, busboys, busgals, what happens to them? Do they ever get jobs? And what about you personally? Did you lose your job? How about your retirement funds? How about, even if you don't have a lot of retirement funds, but you might have a pension, if you're a school teacher or something like that, and the pension funds are going broke. Anyway, just excuse me, just to stir the pot. Whatever issues come up for you are the ones to work with. So let's get started on this meditation this morning. And let's do this first by saying good morning to our hearts. So let's just take our 2 hands and put them over our hearts. Notice where we're sitting right now, sort of after getting stirred up a little, or reminded of all that's wrong or all that's problematic, all that we don't like. And just put your hands over your heart, one palm on top of the other. And just say good morning to your heart. If you think about it, your heart has been beating well before you were born. It continues to beat day in, day out. What a great and faithful part of us our heart is. Could you move into a place of gratitude for your heart? And would it be okay with us in this meditation and session today if we access the very depth and wisdom of our hearts? When I ask a question like, is it okay? What I'm really doing is allowing for an intention to arise. If you say yes, that becomes your intention. And just check, maybe you can start to feel your heart beating in your chest, palm of your hands or your fingertips. And when you're ready, just let your hands down into your lap. And just check to see if, in the minute or two that we're sitting like that, if you notice any change in your experience of your beingness, of your awareness, of your presence your mind quiet down? Does your body settle down? Does your energy settle down? Perhaps you feel some of the divine qualities within your heart starting to stir, starting to awaken. Either it happens or it doesn't. It does not matter. I'm just asking questions to help direct your attention. All we do is we innocently do the practices and allow what shows up to shows up, knowing that whatever shows up is right for us in this moment. So let's move into our heart rhythm meditation. This wonderful practice brought out by Pran and Susanna Bear from I Am Heart, coming from the Desert Fathers and Mothers. It's really amazing God-realized beings from the 3rd and 4th, 5th centuries. They, through their incredible magnetism and healing power, all sorts of healings happened there. They brought not just a few hundred people out into the desert, but tens of thousands, 80, 100,000 people in all these monasteries and abbeys. All these people dedicating their lives to their spiritual growth, meditating with their hearts and their breath. So let's just make sure our posture is comfortably straight, ideally sitting up straight on our sits bones, with our forehead sort of tilted forward rather than leading with our chin, to give a nice alignment to our spine. And just start noticing your breath. No changes right now. How deeply do we breathe? How freely do we breathe? How does the inhale compare to the exhale? Longer, shorter, the same? And again, loving this thing called our breath. It's our closest connection to the outside world. We bring what is outside inside and absorb it and use this oxygen to give us life force, prana, oxygen. And now let's begin shifting our breathing pattern to a very full breath, full exhale, pulling the abdominal muscles all the way back toward the spine. Full inhale. We're going to make sure we're doing abdominal breathing. That's why we do the full exhale. The abdominal muscles coming all the way back in, and then let them all the way out. We don't want to be hyperventilating. Long, slow, even breaths. Full inhale, full exhale. And again, notice your experience. What happens when we infuse the body with life force, with breath, with energy? Do you get drowsy? Do you get more awake? Do you feel any tingling anywhere in your body? For me, it shows up in my hands. What happens for you? What's your level of alertness with more air? Okay, now let's go into the formal part of connecting our rhythm of our breath with our rhythm of our heartbeat. This great practice that ends up connecting us to the rhythm of the electromagnetic body of the earth. It helps really to have your feet flat on the floor. I know there's many postures you can sit in for meditation, but this keeps us connected to the earth. So just begin by inhaling to the count of 8 heartbeats. I say 8, it could be 6 or 10 or 12, whatever's right for you. It could be 4. Just so it's not a struggle. And then exhale to 8 heartbeats. And if you can't feel your heartbeat, just feel your pulse on your wrist or on your throat, your neck. Or even if that doesn't work, just count. And we just start to get a rhythm. It helps sometimes, if you can't feel your heartbeat, to hold your breath for 10 or 20 seconds, and then you start to feel it very clearly. Never a struggle, never a strain. Here, I'll just count for one cycle. Inhale. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Exhale. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And now just continue at your own pace. Full breath, full inhale, full exhale. And every day as we do this, I'll be adding more and more subtly and optional practices. What I'm going to invite you to do today is to give a name to your heartbeat. It can be any name you want. It's traditionally a two-syllable name. And generally, it's the name of some divine being or presence. But it could be anything you want. So it could be, if you're out of the Vedic tradition, Rama, Krishna, Devi. Could be Buddha. If you're a Christian, it might be for Mother Mary, Mary, or Jesus. If you're a Sufi, it might be Allah. Whatever your tradition, whatever your background, just let's continue this basic heart rhythm meditation, but this time add this name. And it becomes a very deep and subtle way of attuning to whatever divine being that you connect with. Let's just continue. Deep inhale, deep exhale. 8, 10, 6, however many heartbeats, whatever count is comfortable for you. And don't try and do it longer. Allow it to go longer over time when your lungs are built up. It's always an allowing, it's never a forcing. And again, check in. What's your experience from doing this very basic, very fundamental practice of connecting the heart to the breath? What happens to your mind? What happens to your heart? What happens to your emotions, your feelings? Do divine qualities start to show up? Does peace show up? Shalom, Jerusalem, city of peace. Would it be okay with each one of us if we become a city of peace in our daily lives? No matter what is going on outside of us, we walk in peace. 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 There's this thing we call peace of mind, and then there's this peace that surpasses understanding. The peace that goes deeper than the understanding of the mind. That's the divine peace quality of the heart. Does that start to wake up for you? As we move into a rhythm, into an alignment with the entire vibration of the earth, the pulsing of the earth. So let's go a little further with this practice of heart rhythm meditation. We started it yesterday. And that is of breathing directly into our hearts. When we inhale, the air comes in through our nose, into our lungs, but we want to become cognizant, aware. We want to simply notice the energy flow that rides on the breath and allow it to come directly into our hearts on the inhale. And as we exhale, it's like we're filling up our space with that energy we just pulled in from the universe. So inhale, 2, 3, like that, to your 8 or 10 or 6 counts. Filling up and then exhaling, let that energy just spread out. But we don't want just the energy to spread out. We're inviting our energetic body to expand on the exhale. It's like our energetic body is a cocoon. You could say a balloon, and we're blowing it up and expanding it outward every time we exhale. And just allow your energetic body to expand. It may start at a few inches. It may be your imagination in the beginning, and that's really okay. Quite often we'll lead with the imagination and then watch it become very tangible, where you actually start to feel it or you get the felt sense of it. And could you allow your energetic body to expand out even more? Perhaps move out to 3 feet. Perhaps fill the room you're in. And let's just be bold and allow it to expand out even further. 100 yards in every direction. Inhale, full inhale, full exhale, and allow it to expand out. What we begin to experience as we begin to move this energetic body out, all the while staying connected to our hearts, fully present in our bodies. Fully present. Exhale. Move that energy body out. Allow it to fill your city. I know it starts to get very thin out there as we go out further, but just allow this. Allow it to fill your state. Inhale fully. And is it all right with us if we recognize that ultimately, in addition to being beings of consciousness, we are beings of energy? Infinite beings of energy. And just let that energy go out and expand and fill the entire planet. Expand to fill the solar system, the sun, the moon, the planets. Fill the Milky Way galaxy. Fill the far reaches, all the galaxies in creation, until our energetic field, thin as it may be, encompasses the entirety of creation. And just invite our energetic body to begin pulsing with this vast energy of creation, the infinite dynamic part of creation. It's just a faint sense in the beginning. All the while staying in touch with our hearts. Our hearts are the energetic center of our being. It's true for each one of us. And can you allow the recognition of all the center points in creation? Our heart is our center point. Our neighbors have their own center points. There's one vast web connecting every heart in creation. From this place here, this point of universal connectedness, to whatever degree you experience it, it doesn't matter. We're just setting the intention here. Could you allow for the possibility of being connected to each and every one of them at this deep and infinite level of life? And right here, at this point of universal connection, universal exchange, could we welcome up our soon-to-be dear friend, this virus, causing so much chaos in our material world? Whatever that looks like to you, whatever it feels like to you, could you welcome the deep, deep intelligence at the very threshold of creation of this virus? And perhaps you notice at this level, from our hearts, at least for me, there's no fear here. At this level, there's only oneness of life. And could we allow the intention to arise within our hearts to allow this intelligence to move into the deepest harmony with all life, to allow this virus to move into that place where it does its job, its role in creation perfectly. And could we allow it the freedom to do its job perfectly? We want the freedom to do our jobs perfectly, fulfill our missions perfectly. Could we allow this virus that same great honor to serve in alignment with the One? It doesn't mean we're encouraging a pandemic or inviting pain and suffering for our families, our friends, our neighbors, everyone across the world. Not at all. We're inviting this virus to live in peace in its proper place. In its proper form. And come back into our own hearts. Just a reminder to always stay there. And allow peace to come forth. Can we be in peace with the presence of this virus? It's not so hard at this very subtle level. Or maybe it is. If something's coming up for you, welcome it up and love that feeling. Love that feeling. And just love it some more. Okay, let's come back to the surface level of life, where our world seems to have been dealt a devastating blow. And there are millions and millions of people not working, not merely not getting an income, but not serving. All work in its greatest sense is our service. And it's devastating to take away whatever gift we have to offer and not be allowed to offer it anymore. Very hard on our sense of purpose and mission in life if we can't work. So welcome up your own fears, your own dislikes for these economic disruptions, or whatever else the virus brings up for you this morning. You know, I'll just pick a topic each day and talk about it to stir us up. How are all these people going to live, survive? How are you going to live and survive? Pay your rent, pay your mortgage. Are we going to become a nation of homeless people who can't pay their mortgages? Are we going into a Great Depression? 25-30% of the people not working. The rest of us afraid to spend our money because we might stop working. What feelings does this bring up within you? Can you welcome this up? With every feeling that comes up, there's a couple things we can do. We all know we can repress them. That's not very smart. They just get stuck in there and come back later. So one option is we release them, we let them go. We offer them back to creation, that energy of that feeling. We free that energy up and return it to creation. And what happens for us is that the quietness, the beingness, the love that is naturally at our core rises up as we let it go. Another option, which may not be so familiar with many of you, is that we ask it for a message. We recognize every energy has, every feeling has energy and intelligence. And we just ask. And most of the time, there's information in there for us. A third way is we welcome the energy up. We don't let it go because it's valuable stuff. We allow it to become fuel for our activities, or we integrate it into our being, and our energetic balance expands and strengthens with it. Any of these are okay. So what comes up for you this morning when we talk about the coronavirus, the industries that are collapsing? Will they ever come back? Will the cruise lines survive? That's actually, some of them is doubtful. They still need to make payments on those huge ships they've been building. And I don't know. Who could say? Some people will say that's a good thing. But all the same, it's a huge industry, feeding countless countries around the world. Will the airlines survive? Will the hotels survive? Will the restaurants survive? And again, whatever energy comes up, could you let that go? Could you integrate that energy? Could you shift it into a divine quality? You may want more love in your life. You may want more courage, more strength. These are all divine qualities. Just by your intention, allow the energy that rises to shift into courage, into love, into compassion, into vision, into leadership. Imagine, here we call it, I'm doing what's called squeezing the lemon. Imagine this virus, this pandemic continues for 6 months to a year, and we end up being on permanent semi-lockdown. What does that bring up for you? What feeling? What resistance? Do you like that? Do you dislike that? Can you welcome that energy up, that reaction, and just be with it? Being with it is a form of loving it. And love it some more, whatever that reaction is. And we always want to take a squeezing the lemon question to peace. Would it be okay with you if you found a way to live in peace no matter what the cultural circumstances are? No matter that there's a semi-lockdown for 6 months to a year, would it be okay with you to move into peace and experience this tragedy from a place of peace? Wouldn't be so bad, would it? We squeeze the lemon on both sides, the good and the bad. So imagine the next couple of weeks The death rate just drops to nothing. Number of new cases starts to wind down very quickly. And suddenly, in a month or two, it's over. What feelings come up with that? I know it's easy to like that and say, yes, bring it on. But does it bring up any fears about how to readjust? What the world's going to look like? How much freedom will I still have? What have I lost? What has the government gained? Whatever comes up, all we're doing is we're asking questions to stir the pot, to bring up suppressed energy, so we can heal that energy. Let it go, use it, enjoy it. Could you allow yourself to be at peace with the thought that the pandemic fades away in the very near future? Not really so hard, I know, but it really helps to squeeze that lemon and bring up everything. And always we come back to the middle. It's okay if the pandemic continues. We can be at peace. It's okay if the pandemic ends. We can be at peace. And just notice, peace is an internal experience, independent of what happens in the world. That be okay with you. No matter what happens in the world, we respond from peace. So that ends our formal meditation this morning. Just take a moment. Just feel what you're feeling. Notice both your energy and your awareness. In this class, we'll all become quite clear of the distinction between energy and awareness. We are infinitely silent. We are infinitely dynamic. Both values. We want to be fluent with both of them. So open your eyes when you're ready. Look around the room. Notice how you're feeling, your presence, your energy. And let's just set an intention. Would it be okay for us to live a life at this very deep level? Fully dynamic, fully active, fully engaged, but always at the depth of our hearts. This very clear, pure presence. This very pure, clear love. The backdrop to our lives. So I'm going to invite anyone who would like to stay to start the process of working one-on-one, where individuals who are struggling with certain issues overwhelmed perhaps, or just feeling them very strongly, would like to work on them, I think you unmute yourself to get into the Q&A line. Let me just start scrolling through. To see if so I see a 541-556-0177. Are you unmuting yourself to speak? Apparently not. Here's someone in the line. Good morning.
Hi, Stephen. It's Eileen.
Good morning, Eileen. How are you?
Pretty good. You're a great pot stirrer. You could have a T-shirt.
Stir the pot, huh? Master pot stirrer.
Yeah.
So what's going on?
Well, first of all, I want to thank everyone. I was very moved by people sharing yesterday and the love that is here for all of us through this time. I really feel, for me, this is a great awakening time. And I'll just give an example that's been kind of a catalyst for what I'm wanting to work with this morning. As for many of us, finances are tight, and I was at the bank last week, and I was going to take out $20, and then I had a thought, well, I'd really like 40. And I just heard in my mind, would you be willing to trust that if that's what you want, it'll be okay? So I did, and then within the day, someone bought a piece of my art. And it became the catalyst for trusting life.
Nice.
And so that's what I feel like, really ready to be bold of, not from a mental place of this, because I feel what's wanting to be released is the conditioned mind. And really, I can feel something really wanting to push through. I just see it as light, as life, in a whole new way. And I feel that personally, but I also feel it's an opportunity in the collective that, it's the divine wanting to push through, but we have no idea what it's going to look like. And I can feel it in myself, and there's no figuring it out, but it's the conditioned thinking that comes in to pull us back.
So Eileen, what I'm hearing is that you'd like to work on living a life of trust.
Living life fully, like full out.
Good. So when you think about that, when you think about living life full out, fully free, fully safe, fully trusting, what thought or feelings come up for you?
Oh, I feel really liberated. It feels really good.
Good. So can you feel that feeling?
Yes.
Okay. And can you let that feeling expand and get stronger? Good. Yeah. And can you let that feeling go and let it get even bigger and better?
Yes. Yes.
And would it be okay with you if you let that feeling go and something came in far greater that you had ever even envisioned or thought about? Would that be okay for you?
Yes.
Yes. Now, imagine there you are living in this expanded, free, safe, trusting space. And what could possibly go wrong here?
Nothing, as long as I don't think.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that thinking, could you let go of disapproving of thinking?
Yes.
Could you let go of disapproving of thinking some more?
Yes.
Yeah. Do you notice that you're sort of putting a condition on that says, when I let go of thinking, I can live a trusting life?
Yes.
Yeah. And how is that working for you?
It isn't.
It isn't, is it? Would it be
No.
okay with you if you lived fully a trusting life and you could still allow yourself to think?
Yes, as long as I'm not trying to figure it out or, limit it. Yeah.
So would it be okay with you if you let go of trying to control your mind?
Yes.
Yeah.
That's the key. That's
the key right there. The wanting to control your mind. So, and does wanting to control your mind give you control of your mind?
No.
It doesn't, does it?
No.
So could you let go some more of this wanting to control your mind?
Yes.
Yeah. And could you let go of that some more?
Yes.
And more.
Yeah.
And more.
Yes.
And would it be okay with you if you allowed your heart or your beingness to be in control of your mind?
Yeah. It's not that there's a resistance, but it's like, okay, how do you do that?
I got it.
Yeah.
But let's follow a little further. Right now, you're trying to use your ego to control your mind.
Mm-hmm.
You see that?
Yeah.
Okay, and that doesn't work, does it?
No, if I just stay open, just fully open and empty, then it's easy.
Yes. So that emptiness is what I mean by allowing beingness to be in charge here.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? So, or your heart also will do the same thing.
Yes.
So, is it okay, and really this is a question of letting go of your ego here, and their egos are our friends, by the way, they're not our enemies. But sometimes we put them in a position where we ask them to do what they can't do. The ego can't control the mind. All right?
No.
So could you let go of wanting your ego to control your mind?
Yes.
Could you let go of it some more?
Yeah.
And could you allow this quietness to be in charge here?
Yes.
Yeah. Could you allow yourself to move into complete alignment with this inner beingness, this inner silence?
Yes.
Yeah, that'd be okay, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Now, if you were completely in alignment with this inner beingness, would you not be living a life of complete freedom and trust?
Yes.
Yes. So is it okay with you to set that intention, to allow yourself to refer back to this inner silence 24/7?
Yes.
Yeah, that's okay, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
And is it okay with you if your mind comes up with thoughts? You go, oh, here's my mind and my ego again. Thank you so much. And let go of resisting them and just put your attention back on the silence within. Would that be okay with you?
Yes.
And even more.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. And if you did that again and again and again, would that soon become your habit?
Yes.
Yeah, so right now we've had a decades-long habit of referring to our minds and our egos for everything. And now the invitation is to refer to that silence within. And that's okay, isn't it?
Yes, because it feels very. What I feel is the spacious emptiness.
Yes. Yes. Could you allow that spacious emptiness to expand?
Yes.
Yes. So could you allow that spacious emptiness to accompany you to the bank?
Yes.
To wherever your art is sold?
Mm-hmm.
To all the people you meet when you meet them?
Yes.
To your work when you do your work?
Mm-hmm.
To when you cook your food, when you go shopping? Is it okay with you that that expanded silence comes with you?
Yes.
Yeah. And it can become just a habit. And if you get knocked out, you know how to get back in, right?
Right.
Okay. So how are you feeling right now?
It feels good. Thank you, Stephen. Yeah.
All right, Eileen. Thank you so much for bringing this up for us.
Yeah. Thank you.
Okay. So, area code 641, I guess they just disappeared on me, or maybe I lost them. Hello?
Yes. So I have a situation I would like to address.
Okay.
I have some significant resentment toward a group of people in an organization that I belong to.
Yes.
Because of my resentment is directed at them because of things they have done.
Right. So good. How do you feel about that resentment? Does it make your life better?
No, it doesn't.
No. And you know, this is the classic. Whenever we resent someone, we're really feeling like a victim.
Yes.
Yeah. And
there's some self-righteousness in it too.
Yes, victim judgment, victim accuser, all that sort of a thing. And it's not really a cycle that does us much good, does it?
No, it doesn't.
All right.
I have to admit, it's very appealing in some ways because it justifies. It justifies me.
Right. It makes us better than them.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right.
And so we're so good because we're so resentful, right? That's a joke.
You're trying to put me in a corner here.
Yeah. So first, so let's do a couple things here. All right.
Okay.
So first, can you welcome up that resentment?
Yes.
Yeah. And that's just a feeling, right?
Yes.
Right. So could you take that feeling and offer it to the divine?
Yes.
I know this fellow is very religious. That's why I'm using this language.
Yes.
So could you offer this feeling again to the feet of Jesus Christ? Oh, is that hard for you to do?
I wouldn't say that it's hard. It's just incomplete.
Incomplete. Good. So could you offer some of it to Jesus?
Yes.
And could you offer some more to him?
Yes.
And more. So it feels like there's a part of you that wants to hold on to this resentment, right?
Yes, that's true of almost everything.
Right. So could you feel this wanting to hold on quality that you have? Can you feel that?
Yes.
Yeah. And is this helping you, this feeling, this quality?
No, I would say it's the chief challenge in my life, chief difficulty in my life.
Good. Would it be okay with you if we work with that energy?
Yes.
Okay, good. So, do you like this quality that you have, this habit you have?
No, I dislike it a lot.
And has disliking it made it go away?
Not so far.
Right.
After quite a few years.
Right. Would it be? Because we'll. Oh, I'm sorry, I shouldn't have said your name. Because we all have this same quality. By the way, you're doing this for all of us. So the invitation is for everyone on the phone to find out where you hold on to things. So, and you found that. I know you're very subtle and you can see and feel these things. So would it be okay with you, because disliking it hasn't worked, would it be okay for you to give that quality some love and approval?
Yes.
That holding on. Yeah.
Yes.
And give it some more love and approval.
Yes.
And more love and approval.
Yes.
And more love and approval. So it's just a decision. You're just making a choice. Would you rather resist and dislike this energy, or would you rather give it love and approval and allow it to move on?
Yes.
Yeah, you would, wouldn't you?
So I'd like to give it love and approval and let it be what it is.
Good. Good.
That's how it comes to me.
That's fine. So that's just a choice, isn't it?
Yes.
So when you say I'd like to, the problem is with that language is that it sounds like you're wishing it could happen, but it won't.
Yes.
So would you make it just a decision that it's your choice, it's your preference to love this energy and let it move on?
I love this energy. Let it move.
Yes.
I let this energy be what it is.
Yes.
Anywhere it wants to be.
Anywhere it wants to be. Yes. And would it be okay with you if there's some divine grace here that allowed this energy to move quickly and easily?
Absolutely. That would be absolutely wonderful.
Yes. That's just where you want to be, isn't it? So could you allow that some more?
Yes.
Yeah, it's not hard to allow. You just say yes, right? So let's do something else here. Could you allow yourself to expand into your beingness?
Yes.
Yes. Could you allow yourself to expand even more?
Yes.
Yes. And go ahead and expand even more. So the reason I ask you to expand is because quite often these things look like they are bigger than we are. And when we expand and we look at them, we see they're not so big after all. Can you look at this energy, this pattern, and see that you're the creator of this pattern? You're bigger than this pattern? Can you see that?
Yes.
It sounds like a 60 or 70% yes.
Yeah, it is.
It's true, isn't it? Yeah, can you just acknowledge you're much bigger than this? Right?
You know, when I focus on it, I don't really feel that I'm bigger than it. Just when I let go, that I
Yes.
not there anymore.
Yes, exactly. When you let go, you actually expand, don't you?
Yes.
Yes. So here, the invitation is for you to keep letting go and getting bigger than this, and this starts to just dissolve and fade away. So when you expand like this, how big is your resentment towards this organization?
10%.
10%, right. Would it be okay with you if you just let that 10% go?
You know, how I respond to that is when you ask me to let go of something, that I find is almost impossible. But when I just allow myself just to be who I am,
Good.
when I focus on who I am,
Good.
you know, or on the divine.
So, gotcha.
Yeah.
Good. Can you allow yourself to just be who you are, fully expanded, and be present with this last remaining vestige of resentment? So what's happening here?
Yes, I can. What is happening is it seemed like I could either be one or the other. I could either be aware of this resentment or I could be expanded. But then as that was going on, I realized, well, I can be expanded if I just love the resentment as I'm aware of it. And then that doesn't inhibit my expansion.
Nice. So is it okay with you if you're expanded and you love this resentment?
Yes.
Yeah, because you love it some more.
Yes.
And more.
Yes.
And is there some fear of something terrible happening if you let go of this resentment entirely, if you love it and let it go entirely?
Yes, there is.
What is that fear?
That I will lose myself.
Yeah. Yes. So, what would you like to do with that fear? Would you like to hold on to it? Or would you like to let it go? And it's a neutral question. You can choose either one.
No, I want to let it go.
Yes. So, could you just love that fear? There's a voice, that fear is a voice within you that wants to be heard. Could you honor it and love it by acknowledging that fear, that you might dissolve and disappear and lose yourself, your sense of self?
I just had the feeling that that's all right.
That's all right, isn't it? Wow. That's what we're looking for. Your voice changed when you said that. I don't know if you could hear that.
I didn't notice that.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a far, it's subtle, but it's a far more present and confident voice. And just, it is all right. It's all right, whatever happens there, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah. So would it be okay with you if you looked upon this pattern of holding on as a spiritual teacher to you?
Oh. Okay.
Okay?
Okay.
It's a long, deep pattern for you. And it's going to give you many, many spiritual blessings as you work with it. So would it be okay with you if this becomes, instead of this enemy out there, if this becomes this great reminder for you that your job is to expand and love?
It becomes a friend.
Yeah, it becomes a friend, doesn't it?
Yes.
Yeah. And if you become friends with this, can you not become friends with everything in creation?
Everything.
Everything. And that's another language, or a very simple way of describing unity consciousness, isn't it? When you're friends with everything.
Yes, it is.
So, is it okay with you if you just, spend the next period of time here loving this and allowing it to become your friend?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. I think that's a good spot here to finish.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much. Like I say, we all have that. All right, we have one more person. Maria? Are you there?
Hello?
Hello, Maria?
Yes.
Hi, how are you?
I'm okay. How are you?
Well, I'm fine, but I'm hoping you're not okay.
Well, you got your wish.
What can I do for you?
In flying colors. Thank you for these calls. They're just amazing. And they have really taken my releasing to a much profound place. And when you said earlier that there are a lot of people that cannot provide a service any longer to do what we want to do.
Mm-hmm.
Even before the virus, my passage of life was being with my mother and helping her, but mostly to enjoy our time together. And that was totally maligned and taken away from me. There's a big distance between us, and the communication is not there. So I was wanting to see if you could help me with that.
Sure. So, looking at that whole situation, what's your first thought or feeling that comes up?
Agony.
Agony. Wow, that's a deep one, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, do you like this agony?
My best friend.
It's your best friend. Perfect. Perfect. So could you allow it to be your best friend? Seriously?
No.
No. No. So that saying no, it keeps it, you're trying to keep it separate from you, right?
Yes. Resistance.
So, Maria, when I hear your voice, I hear a really great heart, by the way. Okay? And I'm wondering, does your heart want to have this distance? Or does your heart want to be one with everything?
One with everything.
Yeah. But something here scares you about it, doesn't it? Like something bad will happen if you embrace it. Right? Is that right or not? I'm just... You're keeping it separate for some reason.
Well, there's an vicious harassment going on that's in the way.
Okay. So, and that's part of the whole conglomeration of problems with this whole situation I'm gathering.
Yes.
Yeah. So, where do you want to work with? You want to work with the agony? You want to work with the harassment?
It's part of the whole
picture.
Yeah, you take it.
Okay, so good. So let's just take this whole picture here.
Yeah.
Okay? When you look at the whole picture here, you get a feeling, a whole felt sense of it. Do you feel that in your body, or do you feel that it's a general feeling in your emotional field?
Yeah, in my emotional field.
Good. So would it be okay with you if you moved into a place of courageousness?
Yes.
And could you go even more into courageousness?
Yes.
Even more into courageousness.
Yes.
So imagine you were like courageous as a fierce tiger walking along. How does that feel to you?
Well, there's an I can't do this anymore.
Yes. So that I can't, can you feel that I can't quality, like you can't do this?
Yeah.
And could you just honor that, love that, be with it, let it go?
Yes.
Yeah, let it go some more.
Yes.
Let it go some more.
Yes.
And would it be okay if you shift that energy of I can't into, maybe I could? Would that be all right with you? Or is there fear with that?
Well, I feel like I've been in courageousness trip and it's just not working,
Aha, not working. So this moves us down into apathy, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's a pretty deep feeling, this energy of apathy.
I think so.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. Very, very deep. Just in general, I'm sensing it here that you've tried releasing it and it hasn't worked. Nothing's changed for you. Is that a fair statement?
Yes, and my courage, when I practice releasing, I move into courage. But then the apathy and the grief and the fear and wanting to change and the anger and the pride, how dare they,
Right. All that stuff comes in. So here's the thing, Marianne, is what I'm sensing, at least, and you can tell me if I'm right or wrong, is that there's a lot of wanting to change the situation. Right?
Escape it.
Yeah. So my guess is that that wanting isn't going to work for you.
No.
Okay?
Yeah.
And that the way for you to go forward is to let go of wanting to change the situation and work entirely on your own emotions. Okay? And once you do that the outside circumstances will either change or they won't, but either way, you can be living in peace. Does that make sense as a strategy for you?
Yes, it does.
Okay. So could you let go of wanting to change the circumstances of your life right now?
Yes.
And could you let go of that some more?
Well, the estrangement from my mother is unbearable.
Yeah. So, can you welcome up that estrangement? Okay?
Yeah.
And that unbearable quality.
Yes.
It's very deep, obviously.
Yes.
And where do you have any control? Over your mother or over yourself?
No.
Not over your mother, do you?
No.
You can't make her want to reconnect, right?
No.
Okay.
Well, even if she wanted to, the evil forces will make sure it doesn't happen.
Okay. So even if she wanted to, if the evil forces make sure it doesn't happen, again we come back to this is not something you have control over.
Absolutely
right?
not. Absolutely.
So could you let go of wanting to reconnect with your mother so that you might open the door where you can possibly in the future?
Yeah.
Could you let go of that wanting some more?
Yes, I'm willing.
Yeah, I know. It's very difficult. But really, there's a time when we just make difficult decisions because our old decisions are destroying our life. Can you see that?
Yes.
So let's squeeze the lemon here a little bit. Imagine making the decision that you're going to let go of this desire to connect with your mother. Okay, can you imagine that?
Yes.
And that you've gone there and you go, wow, I'm free. It's totally totally up to my mother if she wants to connect with me or not. Totally up to these forces that are out there, whatever those are. And, that's another area to release on, obviously. But what I'm inviting you to do is go to a place where you have totally let go of this desire to connect with your mother. And my question is, what energy is coming up when you go there? Is it safe and peaceful, or is it freaking out?
Freaking out.
Good. So that freaking out energy, can you welcome that up?
Yes.
And it's just energy, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah. Could you welcome the energy up some more?
Yes.
And just love it, be with it, let it go if you want to. Welcome it up some more. And how's that energy doing right now? Is it getting lighter?
Yes, it is. It's
good.
moving.
It's moving good. Could you let it go some more?
Yes.
Use that big heart of yours to love that energy.
Yes.
And love it some more.
Yes.
And love it some more.
Yes.
And would it be okay with you if it just whoosh flowed out of your life?
Yes.
It's okay, isn't it? And the thing is, it's just energy you're working with here. It doesn't mean you don't love your mother. Do you get that?
Yeah.
Yeah. So is it okay with you if you absolutely and completely continue to love your mother and you recognize that the best thing for both of you is for you to let go of this energy of wanting to connect?
Yes.
It's okay, isn't it?
It has to be.
Pardon me?
It has to be.
It has to be, yes. And could you discriminate and recognize that this is the best way to love your mother?
Yes.
Yeah. The more you let go of this energy, it allows you to get closer to your mother on a very deep and subtle level. Can you see that? Yeah. Yeah. So would it be okay with you if you connected with your mother on a very, very deep and subtle level, a celestial level, and just let the surface level go the way that it goes? Would that be okay with you?
Yes.
Would that be bearable for you?
Yes, it would.
Yeah, it'd actually be pretty nice, wouldn't it?
Yes, very nice.
Very nice. So could you, again, let go of this wanting to connect on the surface some more? Just let it go. Love it, let it go. So that you can connect with your mother very deeply.
Yes.
Yes. Wow. That feels like something big is happening here, Maria. Is that true, or is that just what I'm feeling here?
It's true.
Yeah. Yeah, it gives you a whole different perspective here, doesn't it?
Yes, it does.
Okay. And once you have this in place, all the other nonsense going on becomes far less important, doesn't it?
Yes.
Yeah. Wow. So would it be okay with you if over the next couple of days, if you find yet unbearable sense of separation coming up, that you just love that, honor it? It's a deep feeling for you. It'll come back probably. Just let it go and allow yourself to connect to your mother at the very deep levels of your heart. Yes. Is that okay with you? Yeah. So I think that's your homework. And I think this whole process will be a very, very deep healing for you. Okay?
Okay. Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yes, it's okay. It's good homework.
Mm-hmm. But?
It's good. I know she loves me very much.
Yeah. Undoubtedly. She loves you very much. And at a deep level, you love her very much, right?
Of course.
Good. And so again, could you let go of wanting that to be there on the surface?
Yes, I'm willing.
Okay. And could you let go of that some more?
Yes.
Yeah, and more.
Yes.
And do you feel some grief about separating from your mother on the surface of life?
Yeah, like I've abandoned her.
Yes. And the truth is that she's really abandoned you, hasn't she?
Yes.
Yeah. So could you allow yourself to be at peace with that situation?
Yes.
Yes. It's just, these are feelings that are coming up. They're deep feelings, and they're strong. And I'm not certain, Maria, that it's going to just pop away in 15 minutes here. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know. It's too much malice going on.
Yeah, too much is going on. But you have a really clear roadmap here. You get that?
Yes.
You have a new intention of connecting on the very subtle level from your heart to her heart, and letting go of the surface. And it may come back at a later time, and that's okay. But for right now, this is probably the safest way for you to proceed, and certainly the most effective way. Yeah. You get that?
Yes, I do. I get it.
You get it. Okay. And grief may come up. You're already in grief because of the sense of loss of your mother.
Yeah.
And you just be with that, love that, and let that go. But if you go back to loving your mother at a very subtle level, back into your heart, this will just change your life. Okay?
Yeah, it will. I know.
Yeah, I know it too. All right, Maria. Thank you so much for calling in. You're very deep. You're very deep.
Thank you
bet.
very much.
Okay. So, I see one or two more people in the queue, but our time is up today. It's about a little over an hour and a half here. So please bring up those questions tomorrow. And I wish to thank everyone for being with us this morning and staying the whole time. And may you all be blessed. And here, I'm going to unmute everyone.
Thank you,
everyone.
Yeah, thanks, everybody.
Keep you in our thoughts. Love you all.
Thank you.
I just recommend